All right, hello everybody. Today we're going to be talking about some standalones that are on my shelves that I haven't read. Some of these I thought I was going to get to this year, but that hasn't happened clearly because they're still unread. Also, if you guys see this particular piece of clothing and a lot of videos coming forward, just deal with it. It's a cloak that my grandparents bought me last year. And it's cold, and this is warm. So, I wear it a lot. It's if I'm not wearing a sweater, I'm wearing this bad boy. So, anyways, let's go ahead and let's see what I have. There are 16 of them here. Now, mind you, these are only my sci-fi fantasy standalones. I actually do have a shelf full of historical fiction that, for the most part, most historical fictions are standalone. But if you guys are interested in what standalone historical fiction books I have that I have not read yet, drop a comment below and let me know if you guys want me to make a video for that, and I will. So, up first, we have High Voltage by Chris Sugden and Jen Sugden. So this was actually, it's from this year, from Goldsboro. What month was it? It was March. So this was March's Goldsboro book, and I don't know anything about it. I had never heard of it until Goldsboro announced it. So, yeah. And from the back of it, just doing a quick look over, it says, to say that even Greater London was a city of crime was rather like saying that the Atlantic was an ocean of wet. True, no doubt, but something you would expect the average man of the street to already be aware of, unlike, say, the location of his wallet. This problem had created a number of law enforcement solutions, including, most recently, the city's first independent detective agency, Fleet and Whistle Private Investigations. So I'm guessing it's like a mystery crime sci-fi kind of thing, because according to Goldsboro, they said it was sci-fi, and they only gave us like 2 sci-fi books this year and way too many romanticies. But yeah, so this was one, came in. It's got high ratings at the moment, but again, it's not one that I ever really see anyone talk about, so it could just be because there's not a lot of people who've read it, so it gives it the illusion of like being a really good book, but we'll see. Fun little stripes, techno kind of thing there. Then after that, I have Inkblood Sister Scribe by Emma Torres. This is actually from Goldsboro from last year, and I at first thought it was considered romantasy, but I've heard that it's not. And I believe it deals with a sister, I believe it deals with someone who works with books. I would love to read you guys a synopsis, but this has no dust jacket, so there's no synopsis to read to you guys. But the back says, not all books should be opened. So if I remember correctly, this is the one where, like, when they open the books, stuff comes out of them. So it does have an intriguing idea. I'm not always into the idea of reading a book about books, or a book about someone who works with books or reads books, because I think it's always done really like cliche and just kind of like cringy. But I'm willing to give that one a try because I have heard some pretty good things about it, which is why I held on to it, especially after I heard that it wasn't actually romantasy like I had initially heard. So we'll see if I get to it next year, because I do want to try and tackle a lot of these standalones next year. Up next, we have The Goblin Emperor by Catherine Addison. This I know this is technically part of a series, but if I remember correctly, the first one was kind of written by itself, and then more was added later on. And a lot of people have said that the follow-up book really isn't as great as this one, and that this one does work very well all on its own. So that's why I included it in here, just because of stuff like that. I've heard like a lot of people really don't like the follow-up book. But then I've also heard that some people who didn't like this one liked the follow-up. But from what I know is they're supposed to be separate. At least that's what I know. If any of that information is wrong, you guys are more than welcome to correct me down in the comments. Next, I have Snakewood by Adrian Selby. So apparently I was told that I was super lucky to have this in hardcover. I don't know why. I got it at Half Price Books for like $4. I know Orbit doesn't do a lot of their books in hardcover, but I guess I was lucky to find it. But this was actually one that I picked up solely for the cover. I really like this hooded man sitting, just sitting there chilling with a sword next to him, and then just the red, like the simplicity of it is very eye-catching for me. But there is another book by this author that has actually caught my eye. I don't know, do they have like his little book discovery in here? Because it's like the Winter King, but I feel like that's wrong too. It's like the Winter something, the Winter Road. Is it Winter Road maybe? I'll probably look it up and add a picture over here. That way you guys will know which one I'm talking about. But that one is the one that I was interested in. But since I found this one at Half Price Books for $4, I was like, let's go ahead, let's grab it. Why not? Like, I've never heard anyone talk about it. I honestly don't hear anyone talk about this author in particular. So I'm looking forward to when I get to it and seeing what it's about. But I do want the other one. I feel like it's the Winter Road. Like I said, I'll put a picture up. Then I have Voyage of the Damned by Frances White. This is another Goldsboro edition that I got in. I don't know if this is going to be a series or not, but right now I know there's just one book, and I feel like it's supposed to be a standalone, if I remember correctly, but I'm not like 100% positive on that. And as far as I know of, it is fantasy from what I've read. I'm going to be a little bit upset though if I find out that it's actually considered like historical fiction instead. But I don't know anything about it because it's another one that just, Goldsboro picked and threw at us. It's got a dragon on the back. So maybe it has something to do with that. I don't know if I'm going to like it though. I've heard some very different opinions from people who have read it. So I don't know. We'll see. That's if I even decide to read it. And then, of course, we have The Princess Bride. Still unread. Still, to be 100% honest with you guys, I actually have a genuine fear of reading this book. Not because I don't think I'm going to understand it, because I have heard about how it's written. It's more so the fact that the movie is everything to me. It is my heart and soul. I love that movie so much. Like, I will drop... When I used to have cable, when, cable was a thing, and I would be in another room doing something, if someone was flipping through the channels and that movie was on, I would drop everything, run out there and be like, we're doing this right now. We're watching it. Like, I own the DVD. I have watched that movie for like a month straight. My daughter, like, she was not happy about that, but that's what we did. So it's just, the movie is just so important to me, and I love it so much that, like, the idea of reading the book literally scares me. Literally scares me. So I have not been able to bring up the courage to be like, finally, I will read The Princess Bride. And it's not like that for like all movies, because like The Last Unicorn is another absolute top favorite movie of mine, and I've read the book for that one. I didn't have the same fears with that one, but Princess Bride, no, that's different. That's different, buddy, because that movie is just everything to me. Next, we have The Queens of Innis Lear by Tessa Gratton. I have had this book for like 6, maybe 7 years now, and I have not gravitated to it. I know when I initially picked it up, I thought it was going to be like a series or whatever, and then I found out that it's just by itself. At least I still think it is. I didn't bother to actually look up some of these, by the way. So again, if this actually has a sequel or something, please let me know. But I'm pretty certain it's still a standalone by itself. And I remember when it like initially came out, like a lot of people were enjoying it and liking it, and that's why I picked it up. Just haven't gotten around to it yet. I don't know what's keeping me from it. It's not like it's a long book, but not anything that I'm not used to reading. Like, it's over 500. Look at that. I didn't know it had that. Stop. I didn't know. I never bothered to look at. They're all like that. Morimaros? Is that how we're saying that? Morimaros? I don't know. That's actually really intriguing because I did not know that was in there, and oh my god, I love stuff like that. So that might have just stop it right now. Stop it right now. I did not look in this book. Has anyone read this? Is this worth reading? Tell me if you've read this. Tell me if this is good. Tell me if I should make that like a top priority next year. Next, we have The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez. This I got last Christmas from my grandparents. From what I know, there's an ancient god who's being held prisoner, and some people are trying to save him. But what I've heard that the reading style is a little complicated, a little difficult. So I'm not really sure about that. I just haven't got, I don't know how to feel about that because I don't really pay attention sometimes when people say, oh, the writing style is difficult, because writing styles can be difficult. Any style can be difficult to anybody for any number of reasons. So I usually take that kind of feedback like with a grain of salt. So we'll see if and when I get to this. I really would like to. I really do love the cover. I think these colors are just beautiful, and that's not just because I'm biased to the color green because it's my favorite, just saying. Up next, I have The Second Bell by Gabriella Houston. So I actually did start this book at one point. I love how 2 bookmarks fell out of it, but they were right here. They weren't even in where I was at, but look, it's Zootopia, and then Goddess in the Machine. I don't know what that is. I don't even know where I got that bookmark from. Anyways, The Second Bell. So I did actually start this one about 3 years ago, and I want to say I made it maybe about here-ish, and then I ended up putting it aside. But it's a like mother-daughter story. That was why I picked it up, because I was looking for more books that have mothers and daughters in them. Specifically mothers, because everybody knows in fantasy mothers get the short end of the stick and they usually end up dead. And as a mother, I find that rude. Okay, like we want to be in stories too. So that was why I picked this up, but I know it's like a retelling that deals with the Striga. So at some point I would like to go back to it. What I had read I was enjoying. I just don't remember why I stopped. You know, it just happens. Next, I have Peter S. Beagle's Summer Long. Is it Beagle or Bagel? I don't know. But this was my friend, my bestie. She actually found this over at the used bookstores where she's at. I don't know anything about it, but I love, love, love The Last Unicorn. So I want to give this a shot and see if this is another good one. Never heard of it. Never heard anyone talk about it, but I'm interested. So she got it for me for a couple bucks. Up next, I have Blood of the Four by Christopher Golden and Tim Leben. So this I've had also for like a good 6-7 years. I bought it around the same time that I bought Queens of Innis Lear, because if I remember correctly, I got them both through Book Outlet, but I don't know anything about it. I think it was like $2 on there, and I just added it to the cart. I do like the cover. I like the castle. I like a good scenic cover. Especially when you can see the details. But I don't know anything about this one. I've never heard anybody talk about it. So if you've heard about it and you've read it and you think it's worth some time, I mean, eventually I'm going to read it. I would like to. The little tagline is "Blood is thicker than magic." So yeah, it definitely caught my eye more so by the cover than anything else, because I have a problem with not reading synopsises because I really love going into books blind. Then I have Descendant of the Crane by Joan He. This is a YA book, and as you guys know, I have a love-hate relationship with YA, so if I buy a YA book, it's because I'm really, really hoping that it's good. Okay, like I really am. So fingers crossed that this one is good. I don't know anything about it. This was a cover buy, but I will say that you cannot find this cover anymore because this publisher no longer has the rights to this book, and it was a big old thing. And so this cover is not available anymore, but it does have another cover that is just as pretty. So you guys can look for that one. It's Asian fantasy, and that was one of the other things that drove me to picking it up, because I have been wanting to explore fantasies outside of the medieval European stuff. But I've also had that on the shelves for like a good 4 years, so I've done really good reading it. Then I have Scifi and the Bone Song by Adrienne Tooley. So this is I love how there's just sometimes some of the material they print dust jackets on are just not good. But this is another YA book. It has song magic, and I'm really hoping that it ends up being really good. This is I believe it's the Fairy Loot special edition. Fake Crate. This is a Fake Crate special edition. They ended up selling it off on their site for like $5. I got it in their $5 sale like 2 years ago. But yeah, it deals with song magic. That was why I picked it up. Fingers crossed that I will like it. I also think it's sapphic, if I remember correctly. There's a lady on the back, lady on the front. But yeah, song magic. That's really the main thing that I know about that one that I took away from it. And I was interested in it. I'm just on the fence about reading it because it's YA. Then I have Lost in Time by A.G. Riddle. This one is another Goldsboro book. I believe it's from last year, if I remember correctly. But this one involves when you commit a crime, depending on the level of the crime you have committed, you will be sent back to prehistoric time to try and survive. And a man gets sent back because he's been accused of murder, and his daughter is like, nope, not on my watch. And so she is trying to bring him back, I guess. That's what I know. It sounds very interesting. I'm definitely down with the idea of dinosaurs in books. So yeah, it's actually funny because I actually looked this one up today because I wanted to see if it was a standalone, and it is. And it's like a sci-fi mystery. I don't really want to say mystery, but it's definitely considered sci-fi because it's got time travel. So yeah, maybe now that I know what it's about, I'm kind of more intrigued by it. Then I have The Actual Star by Monica Byrne. I think it's Byrne, Byrne. But this is another Goldsboro edition. It follows apparently 3 storylines across like 3 centuries or something like that, and they all intertwine into each other, and they all take place in the jungle of Belize. It's one of those. I know there's 2 twins who get it's like they're in the Mayan era, so it's in that area. So Belize. The novel is set in real places in Cayo, Belize, the Octantunichi. I'm more than likely butchered that entire thing. So yeah, it's over in that general area, which was, why I held on to it, because, wanted to expand those reading things. So eventually, one day, I will get to that. I have heard that it gets a little scientific-y. So like hard science and not so much as like fantastical sci-fi. So we'll see. And then the last one on this list is Mage Against the Machine by Sean Barger. I bought this one on Book Outlet like 5 years ago, maybe. And I bought it because of the title. Because it made me think of Rage Against the Machine. Mage Against the Machine. But I think it's like robots versus mages, if I remember correctly. The year is 2120. The humans are dead. The mages have retreated from the world after a madman blew up civilization with weaponized magical technology. So yeah, like I believe it's robots versus mages, and it just kind of sounds pretty interesting. It doesn't have the best reviews on Goodreads, but that's okay. It could be a hidden gem for me. I don't know. But other than that, like the title's fun. The title is fun. So this ended up being slightly longer than I wanted it to be, but it's because there was quite a bit of books here and I rambled a little bit. But those are all, at least that I was able to right off the bat tell, that were sci-fi or fantasy standalones that are on my shelves that I still have yet to read. If you guys have read any of these, please drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of them. If there's any of these that I should prioritize before the other, or anything like that. You're probably not going to convince me to read Princess Bride. I'm just telling you that right now. That's my own hurdle I have to jump over. But if there's anything else in here that you guys think that I should prioritize for next year, please let me know. And I will work that into the TBRs for next year. So until next time, like, comment, subscribe, all those things, because it does help the channel. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.